is Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with another process video for you today. And this one is for the September Counterfeit Kits Challenge. And so I am guest designing with them this month, and the challenge that they issued for the first challenge with our kit was to create a layout based on this definition of curate, or coming up with this kind of collection of things. And so when I got the challenge, my very first thought was that would work perfectly for a gallery wall layout. And so I'm going to use this wood grain brown paper as my background. And then I have a 4x4 picture of my son, and I went ahead and backed it with a thin border of white cardstock, as well as this kind of burnt orange polka dot paper. And that is basically everything I'm going to use, or most of what I'm going to use is coming from this Simple Stories collection. And this one is called, I believe, Take a Hike. And so it's all kind of outdoors and camping. And so in my Pinterest inspiration gallery that I keep, I had this black and white gallery wall, and I thought that this was perfect to kind of use as inspiration. So I love the idea of creating a layout that is more like a gallery wall, because it has all kinds of texts and images and things that kind of coordinate with your theme or with your photos. And it includes a lot of different colors and textures that kind of all coordinate. So I went through the ephemera packs and just pulled out a bunch of different things that I thought would work. And I wanted to make sure that I had three kind of bigger words. So I have adventure, outdoors, and explore. And those are going to be in that nice visual triangle right around my photo. And then I'm adding in things like tags and cut apart sheets, some ephemera pieces in different sizes. So I have some that are just labels. I have some that are larger pieces. I have a few small pieces like the paw prints and the flower. So when you are creating a layout that kind of looks like a gallery wall, you want to make sure that you have a lot of different sizes of things. The other thing I really liked about this particular gallery wall was the fact that there is kind of a neutral color palette, which is similar to the color palette that I'm using. But there's also this way they've incorporated a lot of different textures. So I want to make sure that I am including texture in mine. So I'm going to add some jute to this tag at the top. I've added some dimensional adhesive, which you can't tell so much when you're looking at it like this from the top view, but you'll be able to see in the close-ups. So all of the words and the flower and then the little tiny paw prints are all on dimensional adhesive, so they're going to look like they are raised off the page, which I think is important as part of the gallery wall as well. You don't want everything to appear flat on the background. The other thing was I want to make sure that I'm including a lot of texture. So I have that jute that I've used. I have my dimensional adhesive. I know that I'm going to come back and add some stitching and some puffy stickers. So those are all things that are going to give me additional dimension. I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this little badge and include that. And so I'm just kind of layering things up so far. I want everything kind of set out in this loose grid where everything is kind of lined up, but not totally straight lines up and down and diagonally. I am going to add some stamping. So these two labels are going to get this little mountain scene stamp. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull some little phrase stickers to kind of fill in a few of the gaps. So that one on the bottom says Happy Camper. And then I'm going to put one up towards the top that says Our Big Adventure. And so I'm just filling in the spaces, making sure that I have everything kind of covered. At this point, I'm not really sure if my journaling is going to go on that kind of green ledger or if it's going to go on that tag that extends off the page at the top. So I'm still thinking about what I want to do there. So this is where I go ahead and grab some packs of leftover puffy stickers. And puffy stickers are perfect on a layout like this because typically they are a little bit smaller in scale. So they're going to give you options of things that will fit in those little spaces that you want to fill in. So I've grabbed things like the word awesome, and I have a few little leaves that I'm sprinkling around. And these are just coming from, various packs that were in my stash. So they weren't things that I necessarily pulled out for this particular kit, but they're things that are leftovers. And so then I'm going to grab this little acorn and add him to the card down there on the bottom. And you can see that I already have this kind of burnt orange thread. So I already know that I want to include some stitching in different little spots on the layout. And that's another really quick and easy way to kind of add some additional texture without having to spend a lot of time or doing a lot of additional work. So I'm just going to make some X's. And so I have 3 X's that are going to go on this card down here at the bottom. And then off screen, I go ahead and kind of finish up. So I add some to the tag in the top left. I add some to that green ledger card. And then I am going to go back and add a little bit more stitching onto that tag that you see me working on right now. So I did a stamping at the top. I added a die cut at the bottom. And then I'm just going to add a tiny bit of stitching in like a straight line right across. And I'm going to eventually go back and add some journaling, and it's going to go onto that ledger card since I filled up the other space with some additional embellishments. But that's basically going to do it. So I would love to see if you use a gallery wall idea to kind of create a layout of your own. And I will be back to see you again soon. Bye, friends.